I want to talk about setting goals, and more specifically, I want to talk about understanding when goals are really your own versus what you feel you're supposed to have. Because a parent or a mentor or a friend or somebody planted the seeds, and you have this little voice in your head when you're making goals that you think might be your own, but it's really someone else's. And this is a very pernicious thing, meaning that you don't catch it unless you're very still with yourself and very honest with yourself. And in this game that we play, in my game specifically, direct response marketing, we see a lot of people making $1 million a month, $100,000 a month, really, really good money. And those numbers are tossed around like they're nothing. The fact is, though, that even if you're making 10K a month, that's considerably more than most people on this entire planet. And with that, I understand that the value of money is depreciating, fiat currency, et cetera, invest in cryptos, whatever. But the reality is that if you're making that kind of money, it's great money. And if you're doing something that you can control your time, you can pretty much do it anywhere, there's something to be said for that. And it's difficult when people you believe in and trust are telling you that you need to want something. And I've tried wanting things as much as people want me to want them. But just as I can't want something for my clients that they themselves don't want, I can't want something that I truly don't want that somebody wants for me. And I know that's a bit of a tongue twister, but I think you understand what I'm saying. You have to be honest with yourself. For me personally, I'm not super motivated by money. It's cool. Like, I understand now that money is a resource, and so having it gives me options. And that's really all it is. People don't care about money. They care about optionality, and some people do care about the money, but that's because of their ego. That's because they believe that if they achieve that level, they're going to play the comparison game, right? They play the comparison game, they make so much money, that makes them better than other people, but then they compare themselves to someone else who's ahead of them, and then they want to keep playing that game, and it's a never-ending cycle. And I'm not saying that it should be a cycle that ends at some point, but in terms of fulfillment, there are better ways to achieve fulfillment, and there are better ways to do meaningful work, and that can be things outside of business, that can be things outside of making money. And for me personally, if I want to make some money, I tie it to a goal. I tie it to a goal that I can feel, that I can visualize, that I can imagine how I would be once I've achieved it. And this sounds like simple goal setting, but some people don't care about that. Some people just, if I hit this number, that's it. And they think that's all it is. That's all it takes is they can set that goal. And because they've set that number, they're going to get there until they hit resistance, and they don't understand why they're hitting that resistance. And so they try to do all of these things and try to have these conversations with their subconscious mind and say these affirmations. And I know that because I've done that, and I've seen my colleagues do that too. But at the end of the day, I had to be honest with myself about what motivated me and what I really wanted. And more specifically, who I wanted it for. Because it was something that was beyond myself. If I set goals that are just for my own benefit, it's nice. I know what I like. I don't have to justify that to anyone. But if everyone benefits, if my friends and family and people I really care, communities benefit, to me, that's much more impactful. So play around with that and also be honest with yourself. And this might require taking a month off. This might require going away from your usual network and just sitting with yourself in silence and having and not just having honest conversations with yourself, but understanding whose voices are in your head and whose ideas have been planted in your head that aren't even your own. It's a tough process, but it is worth it.